Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. James here. This man, what you see, his name is Larry B. Gaithers. I'm gonna show you a short picture, and I'm gonna let you listen to an audio. This man reveals about the KKK, and part of it is talking about what happened with the real truth, what happened with JFK, and who was behind that. But the main part on how the Klan got started, and this is you, in his video is going to kind of blow your mind what he says um, concerning why were they created and who are the Klan and who started the Klan according to his information and document. So I'm gonna look back and I'm gonna let you listen to the audio. Can't, this is for copyright use for teaching moment only. I can't really try not to get a copyright strike on this video, but I'm gonna let you listen to the audio. Alright then, hope you enjoyed this video. This is Bishop Larry Gaithers with talking about it. He talks about it with the Bible too. So be prepared to blow your mind. Alright then, here's Larry Bishop Gaither on the KKK.
That was born into Dallas a week prior to the 22nd. Assassins are hired, but they set up Lee Harvey Oswald at least 2 years in advance because they knew that Kennedy would not go to war in Vietnam. And they knew that Kennedy would not only not go to war in Vietnam, but he would distribute these military contracts to smaller military contracting firms. So these oil barons could not afford to allow JFK to live. Had nothing to do with civil rights. And like I said a minute ago, Afghanistan is the world's biggest producer of cotton. The heroin traffic comes up out of Afghanistan. Black folk have nothing to do with Afghanistan. But yet black folk are the ones who are spending 25, 30 years in prison. Another topic for another day. Listen, you guys are going to have to concentrate, okay? Concentrate, don't worry about my book. You guys, listen, one more chance. Concentrate. JFK, the greatest global cover in human history. So from conception to birth to now, the deep state begins in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In chapter 1, verse 2. The deep state begins in Genesis 1 and 2. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. So circle the terms, okay, darkness and deep. Now, since we're in the Hebrew Old Testament, if we take the term darkness and apostolically break it down into Persian, the term darkness means, listen, a state of thinking or a state of mind. And darkness, okay, or the deep, listen, was upon the face of the deep, or the darkness, or the state of one's thinking was upon the face of the deep. This is where you get the term a state of mind, that's right, Pastor Craig, or deep state. So the deep state did not begin on the 22nd of November, 1963. And the 17th letter of the alphabet did not begin 4 to 5 years ago. The movement, don't say it, of the 17th letter actually began with the Gospel of Q, where Jesus Christ wrote a gospel that was taken out by the Vatican during the 195 AD conference in Nicene, Turkey. So the 17th letter represents enlightenment. It means to shine the light in darkness by exposing the darkness through light. Not through name calling, through light. So, the gospel, listen, of the 17th letter, don't take us down YouTube, was written by Christ. Centuries later, there were a group of 25 northern generals right before the Civil War. Now, the Civil War began on the 12th of April in 1861 and ended on the 9th of April in 1865. But a year before the beginning of the Civil War, on April 1st, 1860, the 17th letter began to be a Christian constitutional movement that would do three things. One, to protect the sovereignty of the United States. Two, to protect the presidency. And three, to protect the first Constitution. Not the second Constitution of 1871. The second Constitution was brought about through a deep state president, Ulysses S. Grant, who was involved in Lincoln's assassination. So when Lincoln was taken out, Grant took over. Because Grant said, I need to get paid by the bankers. So the bankers wanted our nation not to remain a Christian constitutional republic. The Rothschilds, including the Vatican through Pope Pius IX, wanted us to be a corporation. Thereby, the Act of 1871, which forced us to go from the United States for America to the United States of America. DJT comes in and destroys that by restoring the first Constitution of 1776. Don't take us down, YouTube. Listen. So, in Daily Plaza, now if you look at Daily Plaza on Google Images, an aerial shot of Daily Plaza, it looks like a compass in a square masonically. Oh, I wish I had time. It looks like a compass in a square masonically. So, there was a banking family by the name of J.P. Morgan. Now, at the time of J.P. Morgan's death, he only owned 17% of his company, J.P. Morgan Bank. Well, who owned the other 83%? You got it, the Rothschild. It's all about it's always about the money. That's right, Pastor Anthony. So, J.P. Morgan was just a Rothschild agent. E.H. Harriman and the Harriman Union Pacific Railroad had borrowed millions to build their empire with Rothschild money. So, J.P. Morgan was a Rothschild agent. E.H. Harriman, was a Rothschild midget. World War I and II was started because of lies. Can I teach? I'm laying foundation before we get to JFK, the greatest global come-up in human history. World War I and World War II. The goal of the international bankers is not to make money. I know that's a paradox. everything. Yes, this is the very essence of the banking industry. It's a mess, Eagle Eyes. It's a mess. Because the United States, oh my God, has a $28 trillion debt. That's over $45,000 a second. That's going to take 3,600 years to liquidate. Why? Because of these corrupted bankers. At a global scale, it is projected in 2022 that the world will have a $300 trillion debt that's going to force every human being to pay it off in 380,000 years. It's unsustainable. Why? Because of these demons, the Rothschilds. JFK, the greatest global cover-up in human history. Nathan Rothschild once said, and I quote, "I care not what puppet is placed upon the throne of England. The man who controls Britain's money supply controls the British Empire. And I, Nathan Rothschild, control the British money supply." So, the Civil War was funded on both sides. And you and I have been